Good morning. The UN General Assembly Committee adopts a draft resolution on North Korea's human rights abuses, a firm statement to the reclusive state. 14 journalists are invited to Korea. They get a first-hand look and speak out about their perspectives on some of the nation's pressing issues. Get your kimchi-groove on. Gimjang, an intangible cultural heritage, is the process of making traditional kimchi. Get a look with Peter Bint. Extra chic and a bit of luxury for your bathroom. Hear all about it on Hot Items on Korea Today, Wednesday, November 19th, 2014.
From Arirang News, this is Korea Today.
And a good Wednesday morning. Thank you for joining us on Korea Today. I'm Kim Young alongside Jin-ju and Minjang.
Good morning. It seems that it's a busy news day today, and North Korea is dominating the headlines this morning.
That's right. A significant move by the international community to hold Pyongyang accountable for the atrocities committed against its own people, and that is our top story. We begin in New York, where the United Nations General Assembly Committee adopted a resolution on Tuesday local time condemning North Korea's human rights abuses. The UN General Assembly's Human Rights Committee voted yay on the resolution presented by the European Union and Japan, which urges the Security Council to hold the communist state and its leader Kim Jong-un responsible in the International Criminal Court and place targeted sanctions on key personnel. Earlier on Tuesday, the committee voted down a proposal by Cuba to exclude the ICC referral in the non-binding resolution. The latest move by the UN General Assembly follows a UN Commission of Inquiry report detailing Pyongyang's crimes against humanity, including torture, slavery, and sexual violence. Only the UN Security Council has the authority to take the North to the International Court, but China and Russia do have veto powers.
North Korea's special envoy met with Russian President Vladimir Putin on Tuesday, delivering a personal letter from the reclusive state's leader Kim Jong-un. The Kremlin said Putin met with the Secretary of the Workers' Party of Korea, Choi Ryong-hae, and received a personal letter from Kim Jong-un. Further details of the closed-door meeting were not released, but experts believe the subject of enhancing bilateral ties was the main agenda of the talks. The meeting was originally scheduled for 5 p.m., but the Russian president was held up at a forum, delaying the one-hour meeting for some 2 hours. While details on his itinerary is not being disclosed, Che's meeting with Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov is set for this Thursday.
Korea has been found to have the third lowest birth rate in the world, according to a UN population report following Macau and Hong Kong. The UN's State of World Population 2014 released on Tuesday shows Korea's average birth rate to be estimated at 1.5 between 2010 and 2015, a stark contrast to Niger, where an average woman gives birth to more than 7 children. The report also indicates Korea's population to be at the world's 27th largest out of the 203 countries surveyed, while the North Korean population stood at the world's 50th. Combined, the two Koreas will have the 19th largest population in the world. The UN report also showed the number of youths in Korea between the ages of 10 and 24 accounted for 19% of the overall population, below the global average of 25%.
Good morning. It's time to run through the front pages of your newspapers. Now, the big news of the day is the president's naming of several new names to ministry posts in light of a government reshuffle, and the Coast Guard was also dismantled in a move to upgrade the country's public safety situation. This is on all the local papers this morning. We'll take a look at it first on Gyeongyang Shinmun. And first, we'll take a look at this image. The picture is titled "Coast Guard Disbanded After 61 Years." So since its foundation in 1953, the Coast Guard has officially been dissolved to be transformed into a new public safety agency aimed at establishing a comprehensive, swift response system to future disasters. Now, in accordance with that move, the government also went through some personnel reshuffling yesterday. If we go on to that headline on the left, the title reads, former Navy man as head of National Safety Agency and former Samsung man as head of Human Resource Agency. So President Park Geun-hye tapped Park In-yong, a former Navy admiral, as head of the new agency responsible for public safety, who was apt for the job given his experience in the Navy and Joint Chiefs of Staff. And Lee Geun-myeon, a former Samsung Electronics official, was tapped as head of a new government agency to be responsible for human resource management. Now, the same story is on Joseon-ilbo, but we'll take a look at this one on the side for more detail. And this one is about the safety standards and ending the rampant corruption. This one is titled Human Resource Management Expert from Samsung to Lead Personnel Reform of Public Posts. So the paper says to reform the country's bureaucratic malpractices, Lee Geun-myeon, the currently working man as an advisor in Samsung Electronics fiber optics division, has been called in to manage the government's human resources. And the presidential office also unveiled a list of new appointees in the meantime for existing and new public offices, affecting 11 ministerial and vice ministerial level officials. Now, leaving that issue there, we'll turn to 중앙일보 for the top story regarding Korea's economic policy. And the title reads, Korea, it's time to implement drastic policies against inflation. Now, the economy today has lost steam, partly because of a protracted slowdown in the global economy. If you take a look at the set of pictures, in Japan, the yen keeps extending its loss. In Europe, low growth and price cuts are plaguing pretty much the entire Eurozone. And in China, a slowdown is deepening with its economic vitality losing strength as well. But if we take a look at this sub-headline, that's why it says, the paper says that it is now time for Korea to put forth aggressive and bold anti-inflation measures, as experts agree that a consistent policy and signal must be sent out to the market in order to revive spending and investment in the Korean economy. And wrapping up with a look at the Korea Economic Daily for this here in the middle. And this one is about startup companies, venture companies, and the title says experience at conglomerate serves as the best foundation for establishing startups. Now, a study shows that 35% of newly made venture companies last year with sales over $90 million have been founded by former conglomerate employees. The Daily says that these businessmen were able to grow such successful firms with their experience, know-how, and network of friendships that they developed while working at the bigger companies like Samsung and LG. And that was a look at our local headlines for this Wednesday. Now following are the stock numbers from Tuesday.
Probably most of our viewers, especially those from abroad, tune in to Arirang TV to get a better understanding of Korea and catch up on the latest news coming out of Korea. And as the nation's only English broadcaster, Arirang TV has invited foreign reporters and journalists to Seoul to provide the chance to get a closer understanding of the major issues here in Korea. And Arirang News' Connie Kim followed the group of journalists to their press tour and joins us now here in the studio to tell us more about it. Good morning, Connie.
Good morning, Jinju. Well, as Arirang aims to promote Korea outside of the country, it has invited foreign journalists to the country to help them get a better blueprint of where Korea stands right now. So they had an opportunity to encounter some of the most attention-grabbing issues in Korea and take a listen to what they had to say after meeting the former comfort woman and the now defected North Korean defectors.
두 살 난 딸도 그 인신매매로 중국에서 이렇게 이제 그 갈라져 가지고 팔렸고 지금 현재는
도망치고 싶은 생각이 정말 너무 엄청 많았고 막 자유롭게 살고 싶은 생각도 그때 당시 없지 않아 있었습니다.
네, 대한민국에 들어와서 북한이 어떤 나라이고 그토록 참혹하게 제가 어떤 생활을 살았는지 깨닫게 되었고
The foreign journalists invited to Korea were appalled to hear how these North Korean defectors had been treated after being caught fleeing. Although still fearful that the North Korean agents might target them, these 3 women hope their testimonies help explain the reality of life inside the North.
I think that it's heartbreaking, especially when she tells me about her daughter, how she witnessed her 2-year-old daughter crying when she was beaten and harassed by the North Korean guards. And it gives us a view of the heartbreaking conditions they are living under.
This is just one of the unresolved issues that foreign journalists keep a keen eye on when it comes to Korean issues. Most of the reporters here say it's not the first time they've heard the stories of North Korean defectors. But they say it is their first time hearing that defectors yearn for a reunification of the 2 Koreas.
By coming out to the public and speaking out, I hope it leads to a unified Korea. I hope the day will come when we don't have to be separated, when we can have dinner together and drive to our relatives when we want to see them.
It's now been more than 60 years since Korea was split in half. The reporters said efforts from South Korea's unification ministry to prepare for unification are needed, but they say there is much more to do, especially with regard to the younger generation, which is less than enthusiastic about the idea.
I was surprised that Korean youth, South Korean youth, should be educated to be pro-reunification. I do understand that you are very well aware that after more than 60 years passed since armistice and division of Korea, that in the younger generation, it's history. Yeah? It's not coming out of their heart.
A recent survey of college students shows that more than half are opposed to reunification due to Pyongyang's nuclear provocations and possible social and economic instability. The focus during the trip was not confined to North Korea matters. They're also learning more about Korea's complicated relationship with its neighbor to the east, Japan. Chief among the issues battering bilateral relations is the unresolved issue of women forced into sexual slavery by the Japanese military before and during World War II. The journalists were aware of the issue as a whole, but were surprised by the lack of information readily available.
I think that what most impressed me about the museum is how little there is, because it seems that there's no records, there's no artifacts, there's nothing really to show. The Japanese wiped it out as they wiped out the lives of these women.
An estimated 50,000 women were forced to work as sex slaves during World War II, many of them Korean women.
Korea was occupied by Japan when we did not have power. Numerous girls were drafted and sacrificed. It is very regretful that Japan is denying their past wrongdoings. We need all your help to pressure the Japanese government.
Well, the need to raise awareness and take more action concerning the victims of the former sexual enslavement within the country was one of the main concerning issues raised by the foreign journalists. Right now, for example, the protests that are being held every Wednesday in front of the Japanese embassy in Korea, journalists say is a very small step, not to mention the few number of museums that have been established to commemorate the former sexual slaves.
Right, and I think that's why, apart from the government's diplomatic efforts, the private sector is also trying to bring the issue to the global stage through various means, for example, plays or movies and many more. Now, going back to the North Korean issue, I believe that these North Korean defectors who are speaking out are definitely adding to the international pressure on Pyongyang when it comes to these human rights issues.
You're right, Jinju. As you mentioned, Pyongyang is gaining a lot of negative international attention recently over its human rights violations. And according to one North Korean expert I spoke to, says that these North Korean defectors speaking out to the public is going to, in the long term, be a means of pressuring Pyongyang. Take a listen.
The testimonies of the North Korean defectors are evidence of human rights violations in the north. So by sharing their accounts of what happened inside Pyongyang, they will help push the international community to raise their collective voice and pressure the north to improve conditions.
And following up on what Professor Yang said about the defectors' testimonies, a lot of the journalists I spoke to says that they're going to report about it, that they're going to write about these North Korean defectors' stories so that they will get a better picture of where Pyongyang stands right now in regards of violation of human rights.
It is interesting to hear how these foreign journalists are viewing these issues. And I believe they're staying in Seoul until Saturday. So what's left on their itinerary here?
Well, the issues I just talked about are some of the heavy topics, but apart from these, they're also going to have some cultural experience visiting Samsung Delight, which is a promotional PR center of Samsung Electronics, and they're going to also experience a traditional side of Korea, visiting the traditional palaces such as Gyeongbokgung. So I personally am also very excited to hear about the reports they're going to be doing after they return to their country.
I am looking forward to that as well. Thank you, Connie, for your report this morning.
My pleasure.
Thank you, Jinju and Connie, for that. Time now to get a check on the weather for today.
All right, we're hitting 0 degrees this morning right here in Seoul. This is the beginning of the winter. Break out those winter parkas and the coats. I'm warning you right now. For a more detailed look at today's weather, we'll go to Chun Sung-cho.
Good morning,
Sung-cho, good morning.
Sung-cho.
Good morning, guys. Yes, temperatures are really seesawing throughout the day these days. I'm sure I'm not the only one who spends extra time every morning trying to decide on what to wear for the day because of the great fluctuation in temperature from morning to afternoon. Overnight, temperatures plunged from hovering around 10 degrees Celsius yesterday afternoon to 2 degrees right now here in Seoul. A cold air mass descended across the entire peninsula as radiational cooling further chilled conditions. Many cities are seeing negative temperatures this morning, like Cheonan in Gangwon-do province, for example, at -5 degrees. Some areas will even wake up to frost and freeze. On the other hand, the conditions are going to flip to the warm side as we go further into the day, with strong sunshine warming things up. Mostly clear conditions are in the forecast, with a bit of passing clouds to build up in the afternoon. With that, let's take a closer look at today's temperature readings. Notice the big temperature gap between the highs and lows, as much as 13 degrees apart in Daegu, Gwangju, and Daejeon. Midday highs will jump up to 11 in Seoul, while Busan will be the warmest at 15 degrees Celsius. If you're in the regions along the east coast of the peninsula or inland at the Gyeongsang-do and Jeollanam-do provinces, be careful when handling any flames because the atmosphere remains extremely dry there. This is all for me with the weather forecast. Back to you, Minjang.
A terror attack on a synagogue rattles the Jewish community in eastern Jerusalem, a city already tense following other strikes. We'll get the details on this story and other global headlines with our Eunice Kim at the News Center. Good morning to you.
Hello, Minjang.
This bloody strike is the worst the city has seen in years. Now, how is Israel reacting to this?
Well, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is promising a harsh and swift response in what he viewed as a battle for Jerusalem, attributing wild blood libel by the Palestinian Authority as well as Hamas and Islamic Jihad for inciting such a terror attack. It was pandemonium Tuesday at a synagogue located in an ultra-Orthodox neighborhood of Jerusalem. Palestinian cousins stormed the house of prayer with meat cleavers and guns in hand during morning prayers, ultimately killing 4 rabbis and wounding 6 others, engaging in a firefight with police before being shot dead. Police said 3 of those killed were Americans and 1 a Briton, all holding dual Israeli citizenship. We're also hearing belatedly that a 5th person, a police officer, has died of his wounds. Now, Prime Minister Netanyahu ordered that the perpetrators' homes be destroyed. Tensions have been mounting in Jerusalem over access to a holy site known to Jews as the Temple Mount and to Muslims as Al-Haram al-Sharif. Orthodox Jews want to be allowed to pray at the compound, while Palestinians hope to make East Jerusalem, where the site sits, their capital of a future state. In the fight against Ebola, the World Health Organization says it is working on faster and cheaper Ebola tests to help stamp out the hemorrhagic virus for good. WHO expert Pierre Fomenti in a Geneva news conference said currently an Ebola infection is determined by a blood test analyzed at mobile laboratories that requires several hours for a diagnostic. The group is now looking at two types of speedier tests, one a PCR integrated one that takes about an hour for results, and the other one that would only require 15 minutes, much like a stick pregnancy test. Fomenti said the new rapid test could come in the following 4 to 6 months. Ebola has killed nearly 5,200 people, mostly in Liberia, Sierra Leone, and Guinea, with a new cluster of cases being observed in Mali. Sierra Leone has recently lost its 7th doctor in its struggle against the highly contagious virus.
And we have to mention the announcement made by Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe yesterday that he would call for snap elections. Explain to us what this would entail.
Well, it would entail Prime Minister Abe dissolving the powerful lower house of parliament this coming Friday and holding a new national election in a few weeks' time on December 14th. Now, he made that announcement in a live broadcast on national television yesterday, saying that he wanted to ask voters to support his plans to postpone a scheduled increase of the national sales tax. Of course, we talked about this yesterday, which has been widely blamed for the country's worse than expected economic performance in the third quarter that ultimately pushed it to a technical recession. It's also viewed as a wider referendum on Abenomics and Prime Minister Abe's efforts to save his signature economic plan. Political analysts say the snap polls come as Abenomics is losing steam, some reading a deep pessimism in the Prime Minister's sharp decision on the country's economic outlook. Now, Abe has been weighed down by low approval ratings as of late, with recent surveys putting his popularity in the low 40% range. And with that, we'll wrap your look at the global headlines we're following this morning.
And still to come on Korea Today, it's that time of the year when Korea gets their kimchi-groove on. Join us today as we check out urban farming and participate in the traditional kimchi-making and sharing tradition called Gimjang. Don't miss it.
That's right, kimchi fever as the Gimjang season is on, but that's not the only season that's on. The winter season, and more people are opting to stay indoors for their dose of performances and entertainment. And our Lee Myun-hee joins us with some indoor performances that are really heating the action up. Good morning.
Good morning, that's right. So I have a look at a few performances today, including a very highly anticipated European musical that stars a pretty popular historical figure that I think many will recognize. Take a look.
After a much-anticipated wait, Korea is now staging the popular musical, Marie Antoinette. The musical tells a story of the infamous queen. At the time, Marie Antoinette's life gets entangled with that of a poor woman. And when the two lives collide, the drama begins to unravel, ultimately leading to the guillotine. The musical is critically acclaimed around the world, and now with a Korean cast, Marie Antoinette's story unfolds once again.
I think that many people will be sympathetic because of the inevitability of the foolish human nature.
A story of friendship, love, and secrets. Two bodyguards for South Korea's presidential office form an unlikely friendship and rivalry. The two are assigned to protect a mysterious woman, and when one friend disappears with her, the other is left in the dark for over 20 years. Then, an incident of déjà vu and the secrets start to show. The musical The Days mixes action, suspense, and a little love on the stage, and is back for another successful run.
I really like the songs written by Kim Kwang-seok. I always liked his songs, but I especially liked Through I Loved You. and wanted to somehow portray and honor their song on stage.
From romance to carefree days in the sun, the hot months of summer are a time for many to enjoy. And now those fun times come alive on the stage through the play A Hot Summer. It's a place where anyone's dreams come alive, but also a story that brings back sentimental feelings of summers of the past. It may be cold outside, but this play is sure to warm things up.
All right, definitely some performances to warm up the atmosphere. Now, Kyuhyun, who is in the musical The Days, he's a member of the K-pop group Super Junior.
Juniors, right.
He also has released a solo album, which scored an all-kill, whatever they call it, on the charts and stuff. He's a very busy guy these days.
Right. And of course, him being included in a musical is going to obviously boost sales of the musical, but it's nothing new to include these K-pop stars with the musicals. Having a star-studded cast really does help in bringing attention to the musical as well. But another interesting point is that musical stars are becoming popular as well. They're becoming known for being highly talented and for showing really a high potential in the musical industry because the explosion of musicals and the popularity of musicals here in Korea.
That all really started with, I believe, Ok Joo-hyun of the group Finkel, right? Now, sticking with musicals, Marie Antoinette, I understand that it was written by someone with quite a reputation in the field.
Yes, so it was actually written by the duo Sylvester LeVay and Michael Coons, and they actually are responsible for the musicals Elizabeth, Mozart, and Rebecca, which also played here in Korea. So another series of very popular musicals as well. But with Marie Antoinette, it actually debuted in Tokyo in 2006 and was very popular there. And after going abroad, it's finally in Korea for us to enjoy. So I think many people were really anticipating this particular musical.
Yeah, I think Marie Antoinette, I understand, is a pretty popular character here in Korea.
Figure here, right?
All right, thank you very much for joining us.
Always a pleasure.
All right, stay with us on Korea Today. We're going to be looking at some bathroom appliances. We're talking about some really luxurious stuff, so you're going to have to stay tuned with us for that. Now, bathtubs with TV screens on it. Now, it's not the jump in and out of the shower routine. It's going to be much more. Bathtub, TV, and DVD showerhead that filters bacteria and chlorine, plus a bathroom heater that'll warm and dry your towels as well. Extra nice bathroom amenities on Hot Items.
So just how old are they? The age of the 4 meteorites found in Jinju, Gyeongsangnam-do province earlier this year has been determined.
Right, it's somewhere in the billions, and actually it's estimated to be as old as the solar system.
That's amazing.
Right. For more, we have our Summer Sarang joining us here in the studio. Good morning, Ms. Sarang.
Good morning, guys. Absolutely amazing. So if we rewind back to earlier this year, 4 residents in Jinju city of Gyeongsang-do province found these 4 rocks. In total, they weighed around 34 kilograms, but a small portion was donated to the Korea Basic Science Institute for investigation. Based on months of analysis using secondary ion mass spectrometer and uranium lead dating, the rocks appear to be between 4.5 and 4.6 billion years old, or as you said, about the same age as our solar system.
Pretty cool.
It is amazing, right?
It must be a very big deal for the owners of that meteorite.
Yeah, the ones that found it. Now, if you guys remember last May, they were asking for around $25 million for the 4 rocks. So it'll be interesting to see if they will now increase the price even more.
It'd be really cool if they donated the rocks
it will be, but
to a museum.
I don't think that'll happen.
To enjoy.
Yeah. Now, here's another big number, 72,000. That's a number of surveillance cameras around the world that's recently been hacked. Anyone with access to internet can go to a website to check live stream footages from any of these 72,000 cameras, including 7,000 located in Korea, such as this footage from a daycare center. So, as you can imagine, it caused big security concerns. But the interesting thing is, the reason why these cameras were hacked in the first place is because they all kept their security passwords at the same default factory settings of 123456 or 0000000.
Right, so don't forget to change your
Change
password.
Yeah, mine, a lot of my passwords are
Mine
0,
too.
0, 0, 0, 0.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, I'm gonna check your email after this.
Good luck with that.
Meanwhile, over in Chile, local Korean businesses and Hallyu fans are coming together to give back to the local Chilean community. They formed a group called Nanum, or Sharing, in Chile, and the aim is to support the local community by, for example, planting trees in an eco project or raising funds for fire victims and so on. Wrapping up, do you guys remember the Christmas seals that you can stick on envelopes?
Of course. We used to buy them at this time of the season.
We were forced to buy them.
Kind of. When we were in elementary schools.
Right, the tradition of being half coerced into buying them dates back some 80 years, but soon this may become a thing of the past. So at the moment, there's actually a law that says that government and public agencies must purchase the seals from the Korean Tuberculosis Association. These mandatory sales account for over 90% of all sales. But yesterday, a revision to this law effectively relieving the agencies from this duty passed the cabinet meeting. They're saying that a system based on semi-involuntary donations from students and office workers is both outdated and inappropriate. Now, of course, the revision still needs to pass the National Assembly, but if it does, then this year may be the last time that we're seeing the Christmas seal.
I should have kept the seals that I bought.
Is it normal for me to be a little saddened by this piece of news?
Because they were so cute and they were collectible as well. You could trade them with friends. That's what I used to do.
Right. Thank you, Misorang.
You're welcome.
And a good Wednesday morning to you all as we kick things off with the Korean national football team facing off against Iran last night, hoping to win their first match away in Iran. With the addition of Ki Sung-young and Son Heung-min in the lineup, the Korean national football team looked great from the start, with Son Heung-min getting several shots on goal. With the match going into the second half tied 0-0, what looked to be a goalkeeper charging by Sardar Osman in the 81st minute is ruled a goal, as Iran holds on to win this one on a controversial goal, with Korea still winless against Iran at away. And now shifting over to the KBO, where the 2014 KBO award ceremony took place on Tuesday afternoon, and highlighting the event was the MVP of the 2014 KBO season. Now, in a battle between the four Nexon Heroes teammates in Park Byung-ho, Kang Jong-ho, Seok Chang, and Andy Van Hecken, the Nexon second baseman Seok Chang received the most votes with 77, as he was named the 2014 KBO MVP. The former Rookie of the Year also finished the 2014 regular season hitting .370 with 135 runs scored, including a KBO record of 201 hits. Meanwhile, NC Dino's second baseman Park Min-woo was awarded the 2014 Rookie of the Year honors, beating out Nexon reliever Cho Sang-woo. And now moving on, some good news for all the baseball fans in the world, as the sport will most likely return to the Olympics during the 2020 Tokyo Summer Games. Now, with the IOC holding a meeting in Switzerland, IOC President Thomas Bach proposed 40 recommendations as part of his reform agenda. The 2020 Olympic agenda, as it's called, also includes a proposal to all host cities to propose inclusion of one or more events. With the proposal likely to be passed next month in Monaco, baseball will most likely be included again in the 2020 Tokyo Summer Games after 12 years since being left out of the Summer Olympics. Of course, on Tuesday, KBO award ceremony might have taken the spotlight, but the 2014 Korea Women's Athletic Award winners were also announced, and grabbing the spotlight there was rhythmic gymnast Son Yeon-jae. Now, the 20-year-old rhythmic gymnast, who enjoyed an incredible season in 2014, was given the top prize among some of the top female athletes in Korea. Earlier this year, she won Korea's first ever Asian Games gold medal in rhythmic gymnastics, increased her streak of 11 straight World Cup events with a podium finish, and also finished fourth in this year's World Championships. And that's going to wrap it up for me. This has been SJ. Have a great rest of the day, and see you guys again for your sports needs.
And it's time to find out a little bit more about Seoul, the diverse charms and all. And joining us is Peter Bin. It's been a while since we've seen him. Good morning.
Good morning.
Long
Right
time
on time
no
for
see.
kimchi. Yeah.
Right.
I'm wearing my kimchi top as well. So guys, have you done your Gimjang for the year?
I have, yes.
Really? Young?
I buy my kimchi.
I'm glad to see some honesty there, right? So for those of you that don't know, Gimjang is the process of making a lot of kimchi in preparation for the cold winter season. My mother-in-law is going to be doing it this weekend, so I'm going to be out reporting at that time, not helping her. But it's a great way to come together, and the city is really bustling in Seoul because late November is the perfect time to start here in Seoul. It depends where you are in the country because of the temperatures. Further south, it's a little bit later. But I took a visit to a couple of busy areas in Seoul. One was a vegetable city farm where you can grow the cabbages and harvest them to make for Gimjang. And the other was the 2014 Kimchi-making and Sharing Festival. It was really good fun. And it was the perfect time, 1 year on from Gimjang Culture's addition to UNESCO's Intangible Cultural Heritage of Humanity list. So let's take a closer look. Underneath the hustle and bustle of the Hangang Bridge above lies Noddlesom Island. And on the island is Seoul's first ever large-scale urban vegetable garden, Noddle Farm. Each lot is guarded by signs that stand there in place of the lot's owners. The people at Noddle Farm looked very busy.
Those radishes are humongous.
Harvesting from early in the morning. So let's get working. There's lots of people here joining me. I don't want to skive off, okay? People prepare for the winter in different ways all across the globe. In Korea, the preparation starts with Gimjang or making kimchi. Today, I help these folks harvest the cabbages to be used in the Gimjang. And just 50 years ago, cabbage patches could be seen all over the Yeouido area. So every year around the Gimjang season, it was common to see cabbages being transported. They all but disappeared with urbanization, but 3 years ago, they built this urban farmland.
It feels great to be eating the vegetables I've grown.
I think it's wonderful to be growing crops
yes, I had a
on the
doll as
farm
well.
with the kids because they get to learn how precious nature is.
This is part of the making process.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you must do this to make
This is the kimchi dance, right?
Wow. Oh, wow, you got other people to take
No,
part in
they all did it
here.
naturally. Yeah, it just happened. It's organic.
Some 깍두기 to...
You got a lot of people involved.
You're one of the most gutsiest people I know.
Like I said, essential for making delicious kimchi.
Right in the middle
Guys,
of
so
Seoul
you
Plaza.
saw all these people behind me. We are here for the 2014 Kimchi-making and Sharing Festival. It is absolutely amazing. Just take a look at how many people there are. Let's take a closer look.
Wow, look at that crowd.
So many people, and it's an aim to revive the disappearing Gimjang culture. Seoul City hosted a large-scale Gimjang festival for the first time this year, but some 9,000 people took part in the 3-day festival, making 1.2 million cabbage heads of kimchi, and participants varied, ranging from Seoul residents, companies, schools, small local groups, and also many foreigners as well.
Well, it's a bad time to be a cabbage right now.
Yes, your number's up, yeah. You're gonna get eaten.
I'm trying to wrap my head around this statement.
And of course, I took my place and tried to help by adding the seasoning. You better fold back each and every leaf and make sure you put some of this delicious sauce and marinade in there, right in the nooks and crannies so you get all that flavor. It looks delicious. I want to eat it right now.
You look a bit like an ajumma there.
I do. It's the costume. It's delicious. Really fresh. Very spicy as well. 진짜 너무 맛있어요. It's delicious. And there are various ingredients put together to make a delicious kimchi, and by sharing it with others, everyone was able to feel the taste of kimchi with all your senses.
A little spicy, salty.
but also fresh. Korean at the same time.
And everyone there was trying it. You know, if you're making it, you've got to try it as well.
This is my first time actually making it myself, so I'm very excited.
And you like eating it?
Absolutely. I'm good with
It's not too spicy? You're good with spicy food?
Good with spicy. Really good.
Everyone's so giddy there. The kimchi virus must be going around.
The kimchi high. It was very chilly, but we're all in very good spirits, and I had a lot of fun. And then all the kimchi prepared by the participants is packaged into 10-kilogram boxes.
Do they take them home?
No. These neatly stacked boxes will be distributed to some 22,000 households in need, so it's more of a charity thing.
Meaningful.
Yeah. This is now the kimchi going off to its final destination, which is people in need. What a great cause. It's been a great day at the Kimchi Festival. And moving on, the next destination is the Gwanghwamun Square. This is a cultural event where all participants can witness and experience the Gimjang culture firsthand. A reenactment of Gimjang taking place at a Hanok courtyard was set up, showing how everyone cooperated and helped each other to prepare the winter's food. And everyone also had the chance to taste the kimchi made by kimchi masters.
Kimchi is made with the eater in mind. When you put your heart into the food, it makes the food that much more delicious.
This is the finale of the festival. Participants gathered around to enjoy kimchi and bossam, the boiled pork belly.
DJ there.
The kimchi DJ.
Yes, he was.
DJ, it's a bossam DJ party.
Yeah, and in the old days, people would have shared the bossam with their neighbors after working on the Gimjang together. And it's all the better with some music. So can you imagine the taste of the freshly made kimchi with the meat? It was superb and free.
And free?
Yeah, to everyone.
Wow.
Cheers. Are they good? Gimjang is a culture embodying the spirit of sharing and wisdom, and here everyone enjoyed the festival as one while thinking about the meaning of Gimjang once again.
I like kimchi very much, and it is very good.
Unfortunately, it's time to wrap up the 2014 Kimchi Making Festival. One last bite, and I hope you'll join us again next year, right? This is delicious. Pork and kimchi. Yum. So good.
Nice to see some foreigners and Koreans mingling there over kimchi. Now, you have to do the kimchi song.
Right,
you have to sing for us. We have
You're
to
going to
try
dance it up. Are you,
right,
really?
let me give it
Okay.
a shot. I couldn't resist. We just can't resist. So how
You
does
got the
it
moves,
go?
okay? 너무너무 김치가 좋아. 아삭아삭 김치. I don't believe I'm doing this again, but you two are great backing dancers for that.
This is fun, actually. You're quite addicted to move.
It's good exercise as well, that dance. It gets you into the spirit of things.
Your appetite going too.
Yeah, but
that's
that
a pretty
kimchi.
simple dance. All you have to do is just do it. It's just
I
it,
think
right?
he wants to give it a shot too, Young.
I want to taste this.
But that kimchi, is actually kimchi that I made myself here. And it's not as easy as it looks. You really got to put your back into it to get all the seasoning on.
Yeah.
And the one that Young has over there is the altarimu. That's the young radish mu. So it's not just made with cabbage, and that's actually for temples. Why don't you give it a try there, Young?
Grab it with the hands like
That's
this.
how-
This is
that's
the
how
way you're
they-
supposed to do it.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, that's the old school style.
Go
And the
for
kimchi
it.
is slightly different because
Or
it's
you-
made for temples. There's no seafood in it.
Or you could hold it up here and go the other way.
You could go almost apple bobbing the opposite direction.
Rice.
You do kimchi. There in front of you also is the bossam with the kimchi and the lettuce. And this temple kimchi is great for kids because it's not as strong. It has a much more neat and clean flavour, right? And great for people trying it for the first time, perhaps. It's good, right? It tastes really fresh because it was made just this weekend. Yum, yum, yum.
Wow, it's so crunchy too.
with the lettuce there and the kimchi, it's a great combination with the pork there. But you guys are busy eating, right?
So you were talking about the different types of kimchi. Maybe you can tell our viewers about some of them.
There are so many different types of kimchi, and that's the beauty of it. Kimchi can be made with anything, not just vegetables or cabbages or things like that. There's some that use squid as the main ingredient or zucchinis. Some people say there's over 200, and some people I met on the weekend said over 300 types of kimchi, which can include cucumber, chives, lettuce, roots, even pomegranate was used in some kimchis on the weekend. Yeah, so a fruity flavour as well. And it was great making it all together, I've got to say. Doing this at home alone, you know, you'd be really tired and you'd probably get fed up after one or two cabbage heads. But doing it together, you felt that cooperation, which is a really traditional aspect of Gimjang. It used to be like a group thing. And because it was for people in need, not for ourselves, although we did pinch a little bit, I will admit, it was for a good cause, which made it much more worthwhile.
Right. And all this time living in Seoul, I never knew that there was a vegetable garden near Hangang River. And can anyone sign up for a lot of that garden there?
Sure. I mean, anyone can go there at any time, but if you want to do it yourself, farm a plot of land, you have to register, but any Seoul citizen can do so in the designated periods. It's an island in the middle of the Han River, connected by the Hangang Bridge. And they're also having a great festival this weekend, another Gimjang festival and concert going on Saturday. So you can take a taster there. And each lot of land is 6.6 meters squared, so it's not too big, it's not unmanageable.
Okay, so what if you can't make it to the festival? Are there any other places that, you know, it's fun learning about the whole culture. It amazes me every time I do. Is there any other place that we can go?
Absolutely, and it's not just this time. At the Pukchon Hanok village, they've got a Seoul cultural, traditional culture center there, and all year round you can learn about Gimjang, making kimchi, taste it, even take it home as well. So you don't have to be in Korea right now.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna do it your way, Minjung.
Oh, okay. Young's gonna show us the traditional way of enjoying your mood, the Altari mood, right? Go for it, Young. That's the way to go.
Wow, that is a mouthful.
Perfect.
And it makes it more tasty.
Now he needs some rice to go with. All right, thank you so much, Peter.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We're saving you some of that kimchi.
Thank you very much. That looked delicious. I would definitely love some after the show.
You live by yourself.
Right, yeah.
Take some home with you. Okay, now today we're going to be looking at some hot items that have everything and anything to do with your bathroom. So bathroom appliances for people out there. Joining us is Jesse Day. Good morning.
Good morning. And yes, I'm introducing some bathroom appliances that are not just ordinary, but smart and innovative technology that will make your bathroom experience easier, more convenient, and as we see right here, a little more luxurious.
Yeah, we're going to be looking at the hottest item right here. I mean, this just looks, it's huge.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I can't fit it in my bathroom.
It could fit me and you together, although that will never happen. Okay, so
What was that? All right,
okay, this bathtub over here. So it has a TV.
Yes. Now that is quite amazing. This is the TV tub by Saturn Bath, and it allows you to lounge while you're bathing and watch TV shows or movies as well. And in fact, Saturn Bath is a company that's won a lot of awards due to their design as well as their innovation. And the bath itself is quite popular. It's got this modern and sleek look to it, as you can see. And it's been featured in a lot of Korean dramas and movies lately as well.
All right.
Because of that modern, sleek, stylish look that it's got. As you can see right there, we got a little Korea Today happening on the screen. And you can see here, as I was mentioning, it's won a lot of awards, including the 2013 Good Design Award and the Red Dot Design Award for its combination of a sink and a bathtub. And here you can see the movie Housemaid. and as well as the drama It's Okay, That's Love, where it is featured.
Oh, this is the one where he sleeps in.
Yeah. So it's quite a hot item on TV as well.
Okay, so we've seen some of the variants or the variations of the models. Now, this model has a TV, but when it comes to water and electrical appliances, they just don't mix, especially when you're in the tub, you know?
That's right.
All right, so is it waterproof?
Well, let me show you a little live demonstration. Here I have some water, and that is the screen. So let's have a look. As you can see, it is waterproof. And not only is the screen itself waterproof, but the cables, the plugs, everything is waterproof. It's IP67 certified, so you can be assured that it's completely safe and it poses no danger whatsoever if you get it wet.
Okay, when you're, our viewers can't exactly feel this, but when you have a bathtub in your home, it's usually hollowed out fiberglass.
That's right.
And the whole feeling of it, you know, when you bang on it or when you hit it, the whole feel of it is different. The texture of the material that's used is all different over here. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so the material of a regular bathtub is made from standard rock powder. Now, regular rock powder, as we see here in this video, the stone powder, it mixes with water, so it's not waterproof through and through. So what Saturn Bath does is it uses aluminum powder and other eco-friendly materials that make it completely resistant to water. It will not even mix with it. And it is certified to be completely free of any sort of fungus. It's fungus resistant, so that not only does it have longevity, it'll also, you can assure that it's safe, no bacterial growth can harm you and your family when using it.
Okay, so this whole thing basically, what it has is the magical ingredients to make the materials that'll make it outlast the others.
Exactly.
And also make it easier to clean, I would imagine, right?
Yes.
It's sort of a matte finished. It sounds like it feels like there's like a powder paint that's painted over it.
Yeah, it does feel almost luxurious as well. And I wish I could fit this in my bathroom, but unfortunately.
Yep, my bathroom is too small as well, but my bathroom and my bath shower can actually use the shower head. Tell us a little bit about this.
So going from bathing to showering, this is the Health Shower Head by Skincare. Now, the water source in Seoul is fine. It's actually clean, but the problem comes up with the piping, the things that deliver the water into our homes. They're very often old, rusty, they have bacteria and other things that we do not want in them. And so the Health Shower Head helps to clean those impurities, and it does so if we just look down here. These are the filters, small ceramic balls, as well as micro silver antibacterial balls go into the shower head, and that helps to filter out any bacteria, heavy metals, toxins, anything that you do not want coming out of your shower.
Well, I think the whole concept of the idea of the shower head is really clear. If you just look, then basically you see that it has a filtering element that filters the water before it gets out to reach you, right? Now, how well does it work? I think that's the question that we want.
Well, let's give it a try. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to pour some of this black powder in here. So this will represent the various sorts of
Is this supposed
bacteria.
to sizzle like that?
I don't know. But it is highly toxic, I would imagine. You can see it's filling the entire water, making it completely black. Now imagine that. I don't think this is as bad as the piping in Seoul, but
I hope not.
You do not want this in your home. So what we do now is we turn it on. And as you can see, the water that comes through is completely clear and clean.
Wow, I mean, the results just speak for itself. You can see the water that's being released from the shower head is clean, it's clear. And in the filter element, you can see the silt or the soot that we just put in there being filtered out before it reaches you.
Absolutely, so that all represents harmful bacteria you do not want on your skin, and so very effective product.
And there's also variants as well. You can see that this one is for, I would imagine, the kitchen. In the kitchen, when you're doing the dishes, there's a filter element. So changing these filters regularly might be a hassle, but it will guarantee that you do have very clean water. Okay, now the last item over here, this is the, what is this?
Well, this is the InnoBath, and this is a bathroom heater. Now, these days in the wintertime in Seoul, it's getting colder and colder. And a big problem with that is, of course, the ondol heating that heats the floor in a lot of apartments does not extend into the bathroom as well. So you have that experience, it's nice and warm, but then you step into the bathroom and it's freezing cold. So this helps with that. It's got a timer and temperature setting, so you never have to worry about being cold when you head into the bathroom ever again.
And this is perfect. It just has a perfect amount of space, so you can just go ahead and after you use your towel, you can just go ahead and just put it right back there.
That's right. It is totally waterproof as well, so it's great for drying your towels. And it's also made of very durable material, rust-free aluminum and plastic, so it's got longevity over the long term as well.
Okay, well, I remember these were actually the heaters like this in the bathroom from some of the older apartments used to be around and prevalent back in those days. So that was also the heater there. So there are certain patents that's been actually registered here.
Yes, because of it generates heat with low electricity quickly. It's been exported to several countries around the world, Spain, China, Mongolia. And because of that innovative technology, it is much more effective than your standard bathroom heaters. And as we can see here, drying a towel, probably even put some socks on it or something like that.
All right, sounds great. Why don't you come over here and take a look at some of this.
This bathtub is so sexy. I'm gonna just go in here. I don't care if
you know what
it's
you're gonna
wet or what.
Really?
All right, this is nice and good here. Look at this.
Yeah.
Oh, I could use some soap. Can you get me a rubber duck?
I think you need to get her a towel pretty soon. Because
I'm actually
Jesse
looking like
did
a
dump
rubber
some
duck
water
myself.
in
I think you're a rubber duck yourself
Do
today.
you want to join me in here?
This is huge. This is huge. I mean, now everyone can get a perspective on just how big this is.
This is humongous, right? It could fit maybe 2 more people.
Is it comfortable?
Very comfortable. It's an invitation.
Wow. We're very suggestive here on Korea Today. I don't know. This is a family
All right,
show.
you guys can wrap up the show because I'm going to just relax and chill here.
All right, well, enjoy that.
All right, well, Minjung enjoys the rest in the bathtub just like Choi In-sung did in that drama. We'll say goodbye to you guys. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 7 a.m.
Have a great day. Bye-bye.